pupils, parents, and guardians. Let me start by thanking you for being a part of all our remote learning platforms, particularly our television program, The Classroom in Your Home. Each feedback has been awesome. Good job, you. Our teachers have been working assiduously to bridge the learning loss during this critical period. Therefore, I am pleased to inform you that the Classroom in Your Home has been extended to accommodate the lower primary classes and a dedicated lesson to cater for our special needs pupils in line with our mandate of providing an all-inclusive and quality basic education in our dear state. This program is fully sponsored by the Universal Basic Education Commission, UBEC, and supported by the Lagos State Universal Basic Education Board under the COVID-19 Blended Learning Intervention Initiative. Please encourage your wards to tune in and take every advantage of this laudable program. Also remember, this pandemic is not over. Let us continue to abide by all health and safety guidelines as stipulated by the government. At LASUBEB, we are determined to leave no child behind in our quest to improve the standard of basic education in our state. Thank you.
Hello pupils, you're welcome to another wonderful edition of your favorite program, The Classroom in Your Home. A program sponsored by the Universal Basic Education Commission, UBEC, and packaged by the Lagos State Universal Basic Education Board, LASUBEB. It is to ensure that you are academically engaged, whether you're still at home, until schools resume, or beyond. I am Auntie Fumi, your English Studies teacher, and I have with me your wonderful teachers, the mathematician, Uncle Agbaje.
Hello, children.
That's your math teacher.
Are you ready to learn today?
Sure they are. And your popular teacher, Uncle Popo.
Hello, puppies.
He'll be taking you through all the subjects on the general studies. And we have a beautiful sign language interpreter in the house, Auntie Rosemary. Together, we are bringing the classroom into your home. Please stay tuned. Studies lesson today, we are going to look at a very interesting topic. Very interesting topic. Yes, and the topic is Proverbs. Have you ever heard the word? Proverbs, yes. You will enjoy the lesson, I can assure you. But before we go into Proverbs as a topic, let's have the correction to our previous homework. You were asked to make each of the given words adverbs. You make adverbs out of the words. Did you do your homework? I received so many homeworks. I received a lot of homeworks, and I want to say, good job you. So, quick as an adverb becomes quickly. Fast becomes fastly. Hungry, hungrily. Successful, successfully. Deep, deeply. Bad, badly. And happy, happily. I am happy that you got everything correctly. And I want to give you a cheer. Well done. Now let's go to the learning objective for today's lesson. I told you, I said we are going to be making a lot of proverbs today. You think making proverbs is only for the elderly? No. We will learn some proverbs and their meanings today. So our learning objective is that by the end of the lesson, you should be able to say the meaning of some proverbs and use them correctly. Are you ready with your writing materials? Are you ready to learn? Then let's go. What are proverbs? Proverbs, yes. What are proverbs? Or let me say, what is a proverb? A proverb is a short and popular saying, a very short and popular saying that gives a piece of advice, that expresses a universal truth, or imparts wisdom based on common sense or experience. Did you get that? Let me simplify it. When we talk about proverb, it is a short and popular saying. It gives you a piece of advice. It says something. It expresses a truth, a word of truth, a universal truth. And it imparts wisdom. Through proverbs, you get wiser. You get some wisdom based on your common sense or experience, based on the sayer's common sense, based on common sense or experience. Did you get that? Let's move on. You understand more as we go into the lessons. We said proverbs are word of truth, short sentences that make sense, that emanates from common sense or experience. Now let's look at proverbs and their meanings. We want to give examples of proverbs and their meanings. Let's go. Look at this proverb. Have you heard it before? Action speaks louder than words. Action speaks louder than words. Have you heard it before? What does it mean? You'll be thinking, what does it mean? Action speaks. Can action talk? It simply means doing something is more convincing than talking about it. Doing something is more convincing than talking about it. I can solve all Uncle Agbaje's sum. I can do this. I can do that. Just do it and let us see it. That is what it means when you hear the proverb, action speaks louder than voice. Learn to do it rather than talking or boasting about it. Did you get that? Let's look at another proverb. Another one. All that glitter is not gold. You know the meaning of for something to glitter, to shine, to sparkle. Yeah. All that glitter is not gold. What does it mean? You're saying, what is Auntie Fumi saying? For something to be shining, it must be gold or something. No, it is not all that glitter that is gold. It means it is not everything that seems good that is good. There are some things that may look as if it is good. Maybe your friends are living a kind of lifestyle and you think, oh, they are enjoying. It is not all that glitter that is gold. Yes, they may have some issues that you don't know. So it is not all the glitter that is gold. All work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. All work and no play makes Femi a dull boy. All work and no play makes Tola a dull girl. That is popular, I know. What does it mean? It means there is no benefit in working always without games, without exercises, and without rest. When you work, there should be time for games, for exercises, and for rest. That is why you have your break time in school. That is why you have game time, and so on and so forth. You must balance the two. When you work, then there must be a little time separated for games, for exercises, and for rest. A friend in need is a friend indeed. That is another popular proverb. You always tell your friend in school, help me with my assignment. A friend in need is a friend indeed. Give me, share part of your snack with me. A friend in need is a friend indeed. Well, you're trying. It's close to the meaning. It simply means a friend who helps when one is in trouble is a real friend. A friend who helps when one is in trouble is what? It's a real friend. That is the meaning of a friend in need being a friend indeed. As you make your bed, you lie on it. Yes, it is a proverb, but literally, it is correct too. As you make your bed, so you lie on it. Of course, the way you leave your bed when you're going, if you don't make your bed, you'll come back. If mommy doesn't make it for you, you'll meet it the same way. But as a proverb, it means you must accept the consequences for your actions. Whatever you do, there are consequences. If you do it right or otherwise, there are consequences for every action of yours. So you must accept the consequences for your actions. Barking dogs seldom bite. Barking dogs seldom bite. It means those who talk much act less. When you talk much, you talk too much, then you are not very active. You act less. Barking dogs seldom bite. You are full of boasts, empty boasts. I can do this, I can do this, I can build a skyscraper, I can finish all the loaves of bread in the house. You act less because you are talking too much. That is telling you that you must be conscious of what you say. Birds of a feather flock together. Birds of a feather flock together. This means people of the same kind move together. What kind of friends are you moving with? Friends that talk. Friends that are not disciplined. Friends that tell lies. Friends that gossip. Remember, birds of a feather flock together. The kind of friends you keep is the kind of person or the kind of quality people will see in you. And that is the way you'll be addressed. So make sure you move with people of good quality. Quality people. People who are disciplined and are well and have home training. Call a spade a spade. Call a spade a spade. This means you must speak the truth. The truth at all times. The truth and the truth alone. Call a spade a spade. This is black. Don't call it yellow. Say it is black. Are you ready to always call a spade a spade? Well done. I trust you. He who laughs last laughs best. He who laughs last laughs best. What does this mean? It means one who endures hardship often rejoices at the end. It is time for you to read now. This is the time for you to do your homework. This is the time for you to do your house chores. This is the time for you to submit yourself for home training. When you do it now, at the end of the day, you will laugh. You will be happy that you were able to endure all those training. So he who laughs last laughs best. Did you enjoy listening to those proverbs? Did you learn anything from the proverbs? I bet it. I am sure you did. It is evaluation time. Are you ready? Then let's do it. Use the following proverbs in sentences. You have to make sentence. You have to make sentences with these proverbs. Call a spade. Form a sentence with it. Birds of a feather flock together. Make a sentence with it. And a friend in need is a friend indeed. Make a sentence with it. You have 1 full minute to do that. And your time starts now. eyes on me. I am sure you have made sentences with the proverbs. Yes. Now let's see how you've been able to do. Okay. It is not compulsory that you are going to make exact sentences that I made, but then it must be very close to it. Call a spade a spade. The sentence I made is, I trust Jide, for he will call a spade, because Jide will always tell the truth. 2, birds of a feather flock together. This is my sentence. You better stay away from them because birds of a feather flock together. And number 3, a friend in need is a friend indeed. This is my answer. This is the best time to help me because a friend in need is a friend indeed. Did you get something close to the sentences? I trust you. You are brilliant children. And I want to celebrate you with a cheer for that. Now, for your homework, write 5 proverbs other than the ones treated already and give their meanings. Write 5 proverbs other than the ones treated already and give their meanings. I am sure you'll be able to do that because you are brilliant children. That's it for today. Make sure you do your homework because that is the only thing that guarantees you're winning good packs of Good Life Magic Juice. It is time for me to hand you over to the mathematician, Uncle Agbaje, for your mathematics lesson. But don't forget, I am always proud of you. Thank you.
Hello children, you're welcome to this segment of the program, The Classroom in Your Home. It is mathematics time and that means it is time to have some fun. I am Uncle Agbaje. Today in mathematics, we will continue our work on proportion. Do you remember what proportions are? When we have 2 quantities that increase at the same time, we say that they have a direct relationship, or that is direct proportion. When we have 2 quantities that go in opposite direction, when one increases, the other one decreases, we say that is indirect proportion or inverse proportion. In our last lesson, we looked at direct proportions and how to solve problems relating to that. Today, we will look at indirect proportions, how to solve problems relating to that. But first, let us review the correction to that homework that was given to you. Let's take a look at the second one and see how it's done. It's basically the same way. The question says a woman bought 60 oranges for 400 naira. How much does she pay, or how much did she pay for 150 oranges? Let's start with what we know. We know that 60 oranges cost 400 naira. And then we are interested in finding how much she paid for 150 oranges. Now, on this side, the oranges side, the quantity has been increased. And this is a direct relationship, so the price has to increase. So the oranges are in the ratio 60 to 150, and so the prices of the two of them will always be in that ratio. Will be in the ratio of 60 to 150 as well. But since this one has increased, this one will have to increase. So we increase 400 by this ratio, 60 to 150. And if we're increasing in the ratio 60 to 150, if we're increasing, 150 has to come on top, and then 60 comes below, and we multiply by 400 naira. You remember how we did that in the last lesson. So let's just see what the result of that will give us. So 150 oranges will cost 150, ratio 150 to 60 multiplied by 400 naira. And of course, that will give you 1,000 naira. I'm sure that's what you got as well. Because if we say 0 cancels 0 here, 2 goes here 3, 2 goes here 200, 3 goes here 1, 3 goes here 5. 5 times 200 naira is 1,000 naira. Now I believe that is what you got as well. Good job you, because you're smart, and I'm going to celebrate you with a check. Now moving on to that work for today. Let's get started right away. Indirect proportion, of course, as I have said, is our focus for today. And remember that with indirect proportions or indirect relationships, as one quantity increases, the other will decrease. For example, if you have a fixed amount of food for 8 girls and it will last them 6 days. Now, if 8 more girls come into the room, it will no longer last them for 6 days. It will last them for less days. We increase the number of girls, the number of days they will use to exhaust the food will decrease. This is indirect proportion. And we will use this knowledge that when we increase one part, we have to decrease the other part. We will use that knowledge in solving today's problems. Consider this. 3 laborers weed a field in 9 days. 3 laborers, it takes them 9 days to weed a field. Now, we have to find how long it will take 9 laborers to complete the same job. The job has not changed, it's just that same field, working at the same rate. So, let's begin with the common sense approach. If we know that it takes 3 laborers 9 days to weed a field, how long will it take 1 laborer? Now, it will take 1 laborer 9 days times 3. And why is that? Let's imagine he has 3 laborers have 9 days. That means 1 person will work for 9 days, 1 person will work for 9 days, 1 person will work for 9 days, right? Now, if 2 people refuse to work, 1 person has to do the job. So he has to do his own 9 days. Then he will do the 9 days for the second person, and he will still do the 9 days for the third person. So in this case, if we reduce the number of laborers, the number of days will increase. It will do 9 days, 9 days, and 9 days. And that is 9 days times 3. And of course, that is 27 days, which means actually on the field, there are 27 days worth of job. But if you put 3 men there, they will do it in 9 days, okay? Similarly, if you put 27 men there, they will do it in 1 day because it's worth 27 days. So if everybody works for 1 day, that's 27 days. Anyway, we have to find how long it will take 9 laborers working at the same rate. So we know that 1 laborer will do the same work for 27 days. So observe here that as we reduce this, that one increased. Did you see that? Now, we are still using the common sense approach. Now, if 1 laborer will have to work for 27 days, then we have 9 laborers. Of course, that means that they have to share 27 days of work among themselves. I'll take that again. If we now have 9 laborers, they will share 27 days of work among themselves. And that is 27 divided into 9 places. And so we will have 3 days of work. That means that if 3 laborers will work for 9 days, 9 laborers will also work for 3 days. And this is how indirect proportion relates with each other. If 1 person will work for 5 days, 5 persons will work for 1 day. If 2 people will finish an item of food in 3 hours, then 3 people will finish it in 2 hours. It works like that. Okay, keep that at the back of your mind. Let's check out another one. Now, 8 girls have enough food for 6 days. That problem that I told you at the beginning. Now, how long will the same food last for 4 girls? 8 girls have enough food for 6 days. How long will the same food last 4 girls if they eat at the same rate? Okay, so let's still use that common sense approach. Now, we know that 8 girls have food for 6 days. Now, 1 girl has food for 6 days. 8 girls have food for 6 days each. Now, if we take 7 girls out of the room and we have just 1 girl, now the same quantity of food remains. She has enough food for her own 6 days. Then she will now eat the food, the 6 days worth of food for another person, and another person, and 7 other people like that, including herself. That's 8. So she has 6 days in 8 places worth of food. I'll take that again. She has food enough for her own for 6 days, and then 7 other people are out of the room. So she has their own 6 days worth of food. So 6 days in 7 places plus her own, which is 8. That's 6 in 8 places. And so if it is 1 girl, she will have food for 6 times 8, 6 days times 8, and that is 48 days. Now, we are now interested in if there were 4 girls in the room. So now that we know that 1 girl alone, that quantity of food, it will take her 48 days. If she has to share with 3 other girls, making 4, they have to share all the food into 4. So that means that we'll divide 48 into 4, and we will have 12 days worth of food for each of them. Now observe again that as the number of girls reduced to 4, or let's begin like this, as the number of girls reduced to 1, the number of days increase. And then from 1, as it increased to 4, the number of days reduced. So, indirect relationship. This is still the common sense approach. And I want you to adopt that approach in solving the problems that I will give you now. A driver travels 80 km per hour and completes a fixed journey, in 3 hours. Now, if he increased the speed to 120 km per hour, obviously, the time it will take him to complete the journey will now reduce. He's moving faster and the journey is still the same. Okay, so you have to find how long it will take him to complete the journey if he travels at 120 km per hour. You have 1 minute. Begin. Alrighty then, I believe that you are done. Let's just review it together. Now, if the man goes at the rate of 80 kilometers in 1 hour, then he will complete the journey in 3 hours. But if he decides to move slowly, like a snail, and he goes 1 kilometer per hour, then it will take him a longer time. In fact, it will take him 3 hours in 80 places. That's 3 hours times 80, and that's 240 hours. That's a whole 10 days. But we are not interested in how long it will go, how long it will take him if he travels for 1 kilometer per hour. We are more interested in how long it will take him if he travels at 120 kilometers per hour. So if we are increasing this, we have to decrease this. So if we are increasing this by 120, we decrease this by 120, and that is 240 hours divided by 120, and that is 2 hours, my friend. Okay, I'm sure you got that right. Good job, you. Let's now look at another approach to solving this same type of problem. We will be using our knowledge of the fact that indirect proportions work in opposite directions. When one quantity increases, the other one will decrease, and then we'll employ our ratio approach just like we did for the direct proportion. Observe. Consider this problem. A bag of millet can feed 50 chickens for 8 days. A single bag of millet can feed 50 chickens for 8 days. Of course, this is an indirect proportion problem. Why? Because if you increase the number of chickens 8 days, they will have to finish the food before 8 days. And if you reduce the number of chickens, it will last for more days, more than 8 days. So, how long would the same bag of chicken, with the same bag, feed 40 chickens? Now we're going from 50 chickens to 40 chickens. So now there is excess food, and it will take them more days. So, number of days chickens have reduced, the number of days will increase. So let's see about how many days it will take 40 chickens to feed on that bag if 50 chickens will feed on it for 8 days. Now let's start with what we know. We know that 50 chickens will eat that bag for 8 days. So how long will it take? 40 chickens. So we use that ratio approach. If I have 40 chickens here, I want to know how many days it will take. But observe that 50 and 40 are in a certain ratio. They are in the ratio 50 to 40. And so the days as well will be in the ratio 50 to 40. They will be in the ratio 50 to 40. But this is indirect proportion. If I'm reducing this one has reduced, then this one has to be increased by the ratio 50 to 40. I'll take that again. We're dealing with indirect proportion here. As one quantity increases, the other one reduces. So now 50 chickens have been reduced to 40, and they are in the ratio 50 to 40, reduced. So I will increase the number of days. The number of days has to increase in the ratio 50 to 40. And if we're increasing 8 days in the ratio 50 to 40, we'll have to write 50 to 40 in a ratio or in a fraction form. But if we're increasing, which number will be on top? Of course it's 50. It's going to be 50 over 40 multiplied by this. That's how we increase 8 days in that ratio. And so 40 chickens will eat for 50 over 40, the same ratio as this one, times the number of days. And that, my friend, is going to give you 50 over 40 times 8 days. So that's 50 over 40 times 8 days, as I have said earlier. So what's the answer today? Today is, well, we just, 8 goes here 1, 8 goes here 5, 5 goes here 1, 5 goes here 10. Now we have 10 times 1 days. And of course 10 times 1 will give us 10 days. And that means the bag will feed 40 chickens in 10 days. Observe that the number of chickens have dropped to 40 and the number of days has increased from 8 to 10. Let's take a look at a final example of this. Consider this problem. When a packet of chewing gums is shared among 30 children, each child gets 8 chewing gums. Okay, you have a packet and there are 30 children, so they're able to get 8 all round. But if we have the same packet and we share the packet among 40 children, we have increased the number of children. Everybody will not be able to get 8 now. They will get less because there are more children, and this is indirect proportion. So how do we get what each person will get using the proportion approach? Let's see. So let's start with what we know. And what we know is that 30 children will get 8 gums each. Then we want to find for 40 children. So we say 40 children, put it under this place. Now observe that 30 children and 40 children are in a specific ratio. And they are in the ratio 30 to 40. So the number of gums will also be in the ratio 30 to 40. But we have increased the number of children. So we have to reduce the number of gums in the same ratio, 30 to 40. Now, if I write 30 to 40 and I want to reduce the number of gums in the ratio 30 to 40, which number will be on top? Did I hear you say 30? Of course, you're right, it's 30 because I'm reducing it, so the smaller number has to be on top. And so what I'm going to have here is going to be 30 over 40 times 8 over 1. So let's see that. So 40 children will get 30 over 40, as I have said, times 8 gums. And so how do we resolve this? Well, 8 goes here 1, 8 goes here 5. 5 goes here 1, 5 goes here 6 times. And I have 6 times 1. And so what this simply means is that if I have increased the number of children from 30 to 40, they can no longer get 8 each. It will not be enough to go round, but they will get 6 each. See, children increase from 30 to 40, gums decrease from 8 to 6. And so when you're working with proportion problems, my friend, do not rush to solve any problem. Ask yourself, is this a direct proportion problem or an indirect proportion problem? If it is direct, then when this quantity is being increased, that one will also increase because direct proportions go the same way. But if it is indirect, as I increase one part, I will reduce the other part using the same ratio throughout. You have enough chance to practice what you have learned today with the assignment that I'm going to give you, and of course with the online assessment, which is going to be available for you at the end of the program. The assignment comes up right about now. Copy it. You have 30 seconds. Alrighty then, we have come to the end of today's mathematics lesson. I hope that you enjoyed it. I will now hand you over to Uncle Popo for that general studies lesson. Till I come your way in the next class, remain wonderful mathemagicians.
Hello pupils, you are welcome to General Studies class. I am Uncle Popo. Uncle Popo is here.
I am also here.
Good. We are here together.
100% attention.
Brilliant one. 100% attention is what I need from you. Our subject for today is civic education. And the topic we are going to look at is values that promote peace. In our last lesson, we talked about valuing Nigerian-made goods. There we talked about exported goods and imported goods. We talked about international trade and reasons why we should value Nigerian-made goods. Today, we want to look at values that promote peace. As a matter of fact, we need peace in our society, in our land, and in our places of work, even at our school. Let's look at those values that promote peace. But before that, the learning objectives. By the end of the lesson, you should be able to define values and peace, and list and describe the attributes of core values that must be observed by society. Into the lesson. Values. What are values? Values are principles or standards of behavior. Values are principles or standards of behavior. It is one's judgment of what is important in life. When we talk about value, we are referring to what is standard, what is expected, what society takes as their uppermost thing that they cherish, that they can't toy with. And it is one judgment of what is important in life. Now, let's look at what the meaning of peace is. Peace means freedom from disturbance. Freedom from disturbance. Nobody is disturbing you. You are not quarreling with anybody. That means you have peace. So peace means freedom from disturbance. What are the values that promote peace? We want to look at those values now that promote peace in our society. 1, tolerance. Say that. Tolerance. Tolerance has to do with you trying to relate with everybody. You trying to relate with everybody. That is not to say that those ones that you are relating with are the people that are your own type, that are doing things the way you want. They may do things otherwise, they may do things that you don't like, but you still need to relate with them. You still need to tolerate them and live a peaceful life with them. That's what we mean by tolerance. Next one is cooperation. Cooperation in your classes, in your society. You cannot live alone. You have to relate with people. You have to have people around you to work together. At times in your classes, they give you group work. So you have to relate with them and do things to achieve a common goal. Cooperation in the society, in the family, everywhere cooperation is needed to work with a group of people and achieve a goal. Next one is honesty. Honesty is very important. You have to be loyal. You have to be truthful. If you're color white, let it be color white. If it is color black, let it be color black, so that people will have their trust in you. Whatever you say, they will believe it, and they will be able to relate with you better when they trust you. That is honesty. Next one is unity. There is nowhere there is no unity that they achieve their goals. In the society, in the family, in the school, people have to work in unity. Just like Nigeria, we have more than 250 ethnic groups, and we are working together. That is unity in diversity. We work together in different places of work. We have different people with different background, religion, ethnic groups, but they are working together as one. That is unity. Unity promotes peace. Next one is humility. In any group or association or society you are, even though you can do more than them or you have what it takes and you are better than everybody, you just need to bring yourself down, to be humble enough. You don't need to say, I'm above this, so person cannot talk to me, this one cannot talk to me like this. That means you are not humble. So when you have humility, people will want to respect you. People will want to associate with you and things will go on well without any trouble. Next one is, we have talked about tolerance. Now let's look at what we have there. I've defined it before. Let's look at it again. Tolerance is the ability of a person or group of persons to accommodate other behaviors that they may not like. I've said it before. You may not like the person's behavior, but you still need to accommodate it. That is tolerance. Now, let's look at the characteristics of tolerance. 1, showing respect for each other's behavior and ways of doing things. You have to respect each other's behavior, although the behavior you may not like it, but you still need to give respect and showing respect for each other's behavior and ways of doing things. They may not do things the way you want or the way you are doing your own things, but you still need to show respect for their behavior and their own ways of doing things. That's one characteristic. Next one is, this involves seeing other people's ways of life and behaviors as being meaningful and purposeful without condemning them for the simple reason that they are different. You don't condemn them, you don't, because they are not working the way you want, or they are not relating or the way you've been doing, that does not mean you should condemn them and think they are not existing. Next one is forgiveness. That's another characteristic of tolerance. You need to be forgiving people. People will surely offend you, but you must have that spirit to forgive them. When you forgive them, you'll be able to relate together and you move on. That's forgiveness. Refusal to pay back evil for evil and put it behind the event of the past. You don't say somebody has offended you. Then you have to revenge. You have to make sure you retaliate. You have to make sure you pay the person back the way he or she has done to you. Forgiveness, you don't do that. You don't pay evil for evil. One of the values that promote peace is cooperation. We have talked about tolerance. We want to talk about cooperation now. It means working together with other people or groups in order to achieve a common goal. Working together with people or groups to achieve a common goal. That is what we mean by cooperation. What are the characteristics of cooperation? 1, communal efforts. This involves joining of forces and resources by members of a given community or group to get a particular work done or to undo a task. Let me take it again. Communal effort here is talking about joining forces and our resources by members of a given community or group to get a particular work done or to handle a task. In some places, we have the people that will come together and carry out some certain tasks to help their community or to finance some projects. That's communal effort and it's a characteristic under cooperation. Next one is shared responsibility. Say that. Shared responsibility. This involves the division of work or a task to different people or groups in order to get the work done faster. Next one is helping each other in times of need. Helping each other in times of need. That's another characteristic. Like in Auntie Fumi's class, that a friend in need is a friend indeed. This is talking about the characteristic here that you help each other when they are in trouble or when they need your help. It's a characteristic of cooperation. This means giving physical, moral, or financial assistance to a person or group in need. Another characteristic is willingness to assist each other. You should be willing to help each other. You should not be forced or think people will talk before you want to help. Willingly from your mind, you should offer help to your friend, even not to your friend alone, to people around you. That's the characteristic of cooperation. This means giving assistance to others without being forced to do so. Now, let's talk about the next values. One of the values that promote peace, we want to talk about honesty. Say that. Honesty. Now, what are we referring to? I think I've tried to paint the ground before when opening the lesson. Honesty is the quality of being honest. What do we mean? When you are honest, you are free of deceit. You don't deceive people. You are truthful and sincere. You are truthful, you don't deceive people, you don't try to bring people under your control through deceit. So people will see you as a truthful person and sincere person. Then they'll be able to work with you. That is honesty. In today's lesson, we have successfully talked about tolerance, and you were told that tolerance is the ability of a person or group of persons to accommodate other people's behavior that they may not like. So tolerance, the behavior of other you may not like, but you have to tolerate it. And the values that promote peace, we talked about tolerance, we talked about cooperation, we talked about honesty, and we looked at the characteristics of tolerance: patience, accommodation, forgiveness, showing respect for each other's behavior and ways of doing things. We also talked about characteristics of cooperation: communal efforts, shared responsibilities, helping each other in times of need, willingness to assist others, respect for those in authorities, moderation, and so on. So, that is where we stop in today's lesson. But before we go, you need to be tested and see if truly you are giving me your 100% attention in today's lesson. Questions. Question number 1, what are values? Question number 2, list 3 values that promote peace. Your time starts now. Eyes on me. Uncle Popo is here. I believe you are still there. So let's mark the work given. Question number 1. Values are principles or standards of behavior. Values are principles or what? Standards of behavior. 3 values that promote peace: tolerance, cooperation, honesty. So mark accordingly and score yourself. We have come to the end of today's lesson. Until next time, next lesson, Uncle Popo says, keep on studying. Bye.
Dear pupils, we have come to the end of another exciting edition of the Classroom in Your Home.
An exciting one indeed. Now, I'm sure that a lot of you have been waiting for this particular segment because this is where we show the video of the week.
Yes.
And the task was for these children to mimic
Uncle
our
Popo.
own Uncle Popo.
Yes.
I'm looking forward to that video.
I can't wait.
Let's see. We have Rufus Shemilore from Partner Montessori School in Agwede.
That is Ikorodu LGA.
My name is Rufus Shemilore. I'm here to present the general studies lesson as Uncle Popo always does it. Stay tuned. Hello students. Hello. You are welcome to general studies lesson. I am Uncle Popo. Uncle Popo is here. I am also here.
Oh.
We are here together.
100% attention.
100% attention is what I need from you. Today's topic is maintenance. And I have a story for you on that.
As usual.
There was a man who lived around Lagos here. He had 2 sons. One was Kotobaje.
Wow, she captured the story.
So he gave the children 2 presents and told them that they should keep it very well. He gave Kotobaje a fine pair of shoes and gave Tobabaje's son a very expensive car. So when Kotobaje wear the shoe all the time, whenever I bring it back, he always clean it and make sure he maintain it very well, not to make it spoil. But Tobabaje is a careless person. He just, when you use it, just dump it down, doesn't take the car for checkup or warm it. So when the Kotobaje presented his own, and the dad saw that he had made use of it very well and cleaned it to make it look brand new. So Kotobaje, when he presented his car has been shattered. Everything is not good again. So that is the usefulness of maintenance.
Wow. Wow.
Oh.
She actually captured the story
Yes.
for while I was teaching maintenance, preventive or corrective maintenance.
Yes.
Wow, good job you.
And she was able to recall the names Kotobaje and Tobabaje.
Good job, you, Uncle Koko, the father of Kotobaje and Tobabaje. Our link for today's online assessment is bit.ly/LASUBEB lesson 60. The link again is bit.ly/LASUBEB lesson 60. Remember, that's our way of knowing how well you are performing so that we can help you to improve on your performance. Like Rufus Shemilore, you can also get to be a part of the program, The Classroom in Your Home. All you have to do is send a 1-minute video of yourself doing the challenge that we have outlined for you. The challenge for you for this week is to mimic Uncle Agbaje's teaching of the lesson, the introduction, or whatever part that you can mimic. You can be sure that if your video is good enough, we will showcase you on the program. Now to that online assessment, Andy, for me.
Taking the online assessment is if you have access to either your daddy's, your mommy's, or your uncle's or your auntie's Android phones. If not, there's no problem. Just send your question, your comment, and your homework to 081 5086 5663. Please do not call that line. Just send SMS or WhatsApp messages only. And when you're submitting your homework, please make sure that you include your name,
class,
local government,
and your school. That is the only way we can identify you to be able to appraise you accordingly. Uncle Popo.
Today's lessons and previous lessons are on LASUBEB YouTube channel for you to watch. Subscribe to LASUBEB YouTube channel to get notification when new videos are uploaded. The Classroom in Your Home, you can watch The Classroom in Your Home live on Facebook,
yes,
through the page showing on the screen.
Until next lesson, when we shall meet again on another beautiful edition of The Classroom in Your Home, please do your homework.
Wash your hands regularly.
Stay at home and
stay safe. LASUBEB,
leave no child behind.
Dear pupils, parents and guardians, let me start by thanking you for being a part of all our remote learning platforms, particularly our television program, The Classroom in Your Home. Each feedback has been awesome. Good job, you. Our teachers have been working assiduously to bridge the learning loss during this critical period. Therefore, I am pleased to inform you that the Classroom in Your Home has been extended to accommodate the lower primary classes and a dedicated lesson to cater for our special needs pupils in line with our mandate of providing an all-inclusive and quality basic education in our dear state. This program is fully sponsored by the Universal Basic Education Commission, UBEC, and supported by the Lagos State Universal Basic Education Board under the COVID-19 Blended Learning Intervention Initiative. Please encourage your wards to tune in and take every advantage of this laudable program. Also remember, this pandemic is not over. Let us continue to abide by all health and safety guidelines as stipulated by the government. At LASUBEB, we are determined to leave no child behind in our quest to improve the standard of basic education in our state. Thank you.